Hello, it's Dr. Rhonda Johnson, and today is Friday, September 25th, 2020. And I'm going to start today off with a question. Do Americans really want to know how much COVID-19 is out there? Well, let me just tell you anyway. According to the CDC, this past week, averaging over the past 7 days, roughly there were 43,000 newly diagnosed cases in the United States each day. So now that you know, what would you do if you know COVID-19 was going to be present at an event that you would be attending? Would you go? Would you change your plans? Well, in 36 states, we're seeing an uptake in COVID-19 cases. And some of these states might surprise you. They include Arizona, which is leading the way, Utah, Minnesota, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota. And in South Dakota, COVID-19 cases increased in 11 different states because of that biker rally, that motorcycle rally that was attended by over 40,000 bikers. That caused an uptake in COVID cases in 11 states, and 1 man died. Maine has an outbreak, and we'll talk more about Maine. Texas, Florida, California, Illinois, Wisconsin, Georgia, these states are all having a surge in COVID-19 cases. And guess what demographic group is leading the way? Well, it's young people between the ages of 18 to 25. They make up at least 26% of all new coronavirus cases, more than any other age group, according to Dr. Robert Redford of the CDC. So this suggests to me that if we want to get our COVID outbreak under control, then we need a focused strategy that is directed to our young people, our young adults, between the ages of 18 and 25. See, younger adults are more likely to work in retail, restaurants, child care centers, and other places that put them at greater risk of exposure to the coronavirus. And not to mention the outbreak that is occurring on so many college campuses. And also at the same time, they may be more likely to eat indoors in restaurants and frequent bars, and also attend crowded social events and parties where there's less than optimal physical distancing and probably very little masking. Now, young people tend to listen to their peers, and I am hoping that celebrities, media superstars that young people identify with will start speaking up on the need to have COVID-19 prevention and awareness messaging. The bottom line is that every person in a household, in a school, in a college dorm, in a workplace, depends on every other person in that environmental unit to do what they can to prevent the spread of COVID-19. If just one person assumes risky behavior, then everyone in that shared community is at risk. So I talked about Maine earlier. So let's go back to Maine, that state near Canada on the northeast. There was a wedding on August 7th. 62 people attended. They all had their temperatures checked before they came into the wedding. They mingled, they danced, they dined, they partied for hours. No one wore a mask, and they didn't practice physical distancing. And guess what happened? Over 270 people have been linked to that one wedding event in Maine, and 8 people have died. And not one of the 8 that have died attended the wedding. Now that's a super spreader event. So I want you to think about that question. Would you go somewhere if you knew that COVID-19 was going to be present? I want you to think about it like this. COVID-19 is that uninvited guest. Have you ever been to an event where some people show up and just crash the event without an invitation? Well, it's not a somebody, it's a something, and that something now is COVID-19. Just assume that it's at every event, every single wedding, every party, because the virus favors gatherings where people are. It doesn't distinguish between happy events, such as weddings or parties or sports events, or sad events like funerals. COVID-19 is everywhere. So that's my message today. COVID-19 is everywhere. It's at every event that you are going to go to or you're thinking about going to. And yes, it's not going to have an invitation. So folks, choose your events very carefully and practice the 3 W's. Wash your hands or bring your hand sanitizer. Wear your mask, and you gotta keep it on. You can't take it off to eat. And if you're gonna drink, probably the safest place is outside by yourself. Time how long you're gonna spend at every event. And be selective. Remember, every person that you're around needs to be of the same mindset as you in terms of preventing COVID-19. I know that seems a little extreme, but death is the ultimate endpoint. And as I talked about yesterday, many people, many young people who get COVID-19 are experiencing a lot of debilitating conditions. So again, this is Dr. Rhonda Johnson. My views are my own. My only attempt is to educate and inform and help save lives. So stay well, stay connected, keep your guard up, and have a blessed day.